Welcome to Garage Groove. Welcome to the shop. Hello everybody, welcome to this new edition of Garage Groove. It's been a while and I wanted to update everybody on everything that's been going on, or the lack of, I should say. Why have we not posted a video in a while? Well, there's been a few things. So, number one is the work. I've spent the summer working. The kids have been busy with their summer activities with the sports, the baseball, most of it, and the football just started. So they've been doing their thing. I've been busy with work, and that's pretty much it. Now, what have we done for the riding? Well, you guys saw in July, we took a ride in the dirt bikes in like a little adventure trail that we did. That's pretty much about it. Other than I've been riding my Vulcan. So let's talk about that. This bike has been awesome. I've been riding this bike, not so much joyriding, but we did an episode on this bike, and it's been my primary ride to work and back. Now, like I said, I have not been joyriding this, but I've been loving the trips to work and back. They're about 30 miles one way, and it's been wonderful. So that's part of what we've been doing as far as riding goes. We've been riding this thing on the street. The other update is this bike, the Harley. There's a big hole right there. That's because the transmission went out in this bike. So that's another update. Why it went out, I don't know. Well, this right here is a hand-built bike, and this was the only bike in our fleet that I had bought from a dealer as a used bike. So it could have very well been a weak link that we didn't know about. Remember, everything I've owned, I've pretty much built or modified myself or did the motor on it and stuff. This was the only one that we bought used. So everything has been maintained, but it still started grinding. It started making a sound. So we have taken that out and we're working on it. The other update I wanted to share with you is my right shoulder. My right shoulder got injured, and I've been nursing it. I've been having doctor's appointments, and they're kind of monitoring it. It's healing, but it's healing very slowly. So I cannot pull my arm very easily out in front of me, which makes working on things difficult, very difficult. But we've still managed to finish one of our projects. If you look next to the Harley, you see there's an empty spot. And that's because we have finished our wonderful, beautiful 2000 Suzuki Tl1000R. This is a V-twin sport bike, race bike. It's got the race DNA. It was always considered a super bike. This thing came out wonderful, and this episode is centered around this machine. How it turned out this way, which we're very happy with. We wanted that race look, and we got the race look. What did we have to do? Where did we start? How did we end up where we are at? Is everything that this episode is about. We are going to show you how this bike ended up looking like this. So that's what we're about ready to do, and we want you to stay with us so we can show you this progress on this wonderful 2000 Suzuki Tl1000R. Stay with us. We'll see you in a minute. So this is the 2000 Suzuki Tl1000R, and we started by bringing this bike home. Now remember, this bike, I had completely done the engine in 2015. The engine was built and it was put together really nice, and I've put on quite a few miles since then. I've probably put on 6,000 to 7,000 miles on the freshened up engine, right? So the first thing we did was we brought this bike home and we addressed everything that we wanted to do with this bike. See, this thing, I got it in 2011, and I did a lot of work to it. One cylinder was smoking, one pipe, so I refreshed it, and it took care of that. And then over the course of the years that I've rode this thing, and it would have, you know, sensors would go out or whatever, and I'd replace them. So I would say virtually all the sensors are like brand new. The tires are still from 2011, so they need to be upgraded. We're gonna give this bike a whole new look. I painted the tank last year. It's not an awesome job, but it's not one of my worst jobs. It's acceptable to me. We upgraded at the time. We put on the Vortex sprocket in the back. We got these side stand, or the stands. We got nice rotors up front. We got a nice rotor on the back. We got a nice little red theme going on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to refresh the plastics. We're going to try to do it ourselves, mainly because of the educational purpose. I need to learn. I feel a lot better with the rims, the way they came out. So we're gonna clean everything up. We're gonna remove this big bulky exhaust. I think we're gonna remove it right from here and put some shorties on it. And then again, the stance of this bike is not of my choosing. It's flat, it has no stance. It's just a big long banana. This is one of those bikes that came with the extended swing arm, and I'm going to work with it just the way it is. I'm going to raise the tail end on it. We're going to do it properly, so I don't know exactly what that's going to entail on this bike, but we're going to remove all the plastics. We're going to fix the stance on it. We're going to put the shorty exhaust on it. We're going to put the new rims and tires on it that's got new bearings already in it. We're going to upgrade the brakes, put new pads and stuff on it. Yeah, and the motor's already done, so that's what we're looking at. Okay, and we started right with the wheels because I had already bought a set of used wheels off of Facebook for 40 bucks. Okay, welcome back. So what we have done so far is we have installed all the new bearings in both of these wheels. That was the first step to this. What we're going to do now is we're going to clean these up, and we're going to prime them. So I use the all balls bearings, and they seem to do really well. So we're gonna go ahead and clean these up. I'm gonna probably hit them with a little acetone and get all the grease or whatever off of it, and then we're gonna prime them, and we'll let them sit for a little while, and then we'll hit them with the color, and then we'll hit them with the clear, and try to do the. I'm not a good painter, but I think every time I do this, I'm gonna get better. So that's the only way to get good at something. So you just keep doing it. So we'll see you back. Okay, everybody. So we have primered these rims. We got new bearings in it, and we have primered them, cleaned them. One thing I'm trying this time on my paint is I'm gonna let the primer sit. Hello everybody, welcome back to Garage Groove. And we painted the rims for the TL1000R. I've got them out in the sun, get a better idea of what they look like, but they are drying. It's been several hours since we've painted them. They've kind of lost most of their tackiness, but I think you'll see this isn't a bad job, especially for a spray bomb. Let's take a look at these. It's a nice bright red, exactly what I wanted. And then this is a beautiful black rim for the front. Turned out nice too. Okay, they're gonna cure. I'm gonna put them out in the sun probably every other day or whenever I get a chance, as long as the weather's good. We'll see you soon. What we did was we cleaned them up. We put new bearings and seals in them. Then we primed them, and then we painted them, and they turned out great. Ultimately, we got new tires that came in from eBay. We took them to a local shop, and they mounted new tires on these rims that were painted. Today, we got some new tires in. Because I don't do tires. It's just too much involved without the right equipment. So I just take it to the dealer and they'll put it on for me. They'll balance it and everything. We'll get the wheels back, we'll decorate them, clean them, polish them, wax them, whatever, and then we'll put them on the bike. So let's get heading to the dealer. We'll see you in a minute. So we are going to pick up our new tires. They've been mounted on the rims, so we're going to have new bearings. We're going to have nice fresh new rims, brand new tires. Remember, on the motorcycle, tires are extremely important, and our old tires were cupped. So you only got two tires, you know, and two wheels, and you want to make sure that they're healthy and they're in really good shape, and we're going to try to make them look nice also. So we got new bearings in them, new seals, new tires, new paint job. The only thing we're going to do to them is we're going to decorate them up a little bit, put some nice decals and stuff on them. We're trying to go for that race look, okay? We're not going for a show bike look because unfortunately my painting skills will never allow me to make a show bike unless I send it out to get painted. So, but anyways, we will have our tires here pretty quick.
Definitely puts the most miles on.
Yeah, these wheels look awesome with the new tires on them.
What do we got?
That's for the TL1000.
Oh yeah, we were talking about it. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, okay, check it out. We're gonna letter these. It's gonna look nice. Now, one thing is, this is expected. When they put them on the tire machines, that's expected. So we're gonna fix those up, but the rim looks really nice. Both of them. So, after that, we took the time to put a little bit of, you know, graphics on them, and then we lettered them. You know, we were going for the race look. Right now, we're gonna start working on the wheels. I love working on the wheels. Wheels are always my favorite. It adds a whole new personality to the bike. So we're gonna go ahead and get things switched over. We're gonna switch over the rotors, the front rotors. We're gonna switch over the rear sprocket, and we'll have new tires on it. And we're gonna, while we're in there, we're gonna go ahead and put new brake pads in and get all of that taken care of also. So we'll see you in a minute. We turned our attention to the plastic. Now the plastic, if you remember, was black, and it was not that good. Okay, so the bottom piece, in fact, this silver piece right here, that was melted and in real bad shape. So what we did was we built a new one out of aluminum. So we did that. We sanded these. We took all the decals off of them. We sanded them. We primed them. We painted them. We clear coated them. We sanded them again, and we clear coated them a couple times. Well, let's look at the plastics. What do we got here? There's the front piece. There's the tail piece. That's the front fender. There's the spot right, the part right behind the radiator. These are the two side fairings. This is the belly pan. I think this is the worst one. That part right there. That's all melted, and I think we're gonna have to replace that. But you see, I was never happy with the plastics on this thing because these plastics were a mistake. I was never a fan of flames. I'm not a big flame guy. Okay? Okay, so we got ourselves a setup going here. As you can see it on the time lapse. The time lapse is going. We got our tripod right here, and we got phase on, and we started our sanding.
Yeah, I'm doing the side fan right now.
Yeah, so all we're doing is we're just taking the top thin layer of clear coat off. That's all we're doing, because we're gonna. As you know, we've been working on the TL. We've been doing a little spray bombing. We just brought all the pieces inside. Let's take a look at them. I'm actually pretty happy with these. Not much runs. There's one piece that's got a little bit of a run on it, and to be honest with you, I'm not even sure which one, where it is. It's got a nice sheen to it, and I think they're gonna work out really nice. I mean, this is probably one of my better paint jobs, but it's far from show quality. There's a little bit of bubbling here and there. If you look, yeah, you can see some of that clear coat that went on it. But overall, it's really nice. It turned out really nice. A lot better than the Gixxer did. Okay. So we did, we painted the plastics and we kind of put them away. Then we took our attention to the stance of the bike. Now remember, I'm not a big fan of extending swing arms, but we like to have a little bit of fun. It's very easy to just go and buy another swing arm and just erase everything and just go backwards, but we like to challenge ourselves. So what we did here is we worked with what was already there, and then as you can see, we installed a new fabricated piece there. Ultimately, we want this bike to be sitting right, and we're gonna go for the race look. I always go for the race look. Why? Because custom looks are tough for a guy like me to do. I don't have the skill set to make this bike look like a custom show bike, you know, because it takes painting skills and stuff like that, just stuff that I don't have a whole lot of confidence in. So I go for a race look. That's based more off of stickers and decals and yada yada yada, stuff I can handle. So that's what we're gonna do. Now what we did here is we're going with the red rim in the back. We're going with the black rim in the front. I don't know what that's based off of. That's just something we're gonna try. But we want to fix the stance. The long swing arm, it changes the stance of these bikes. Okay, we need to increase the angle right up here, because with the long swing arm, that angle needs to, the posture and the stance of the bike has to be corrected. Okay, so we're talking TL1000R Suzuki. We've been doing work on this thing, and we've already got the wheels ready to go. We want to take these wheels off and take all the hardware off of it, the rotors and the sprockets and stuff. But while we got it up, we got to fix the stance on this thing. And in order to do that, what we need to do is we have, if you can see, we have a bracket right here where the shock goes. That bracket needs to come out. It's kind of hard to see it without taking the tank off. I guess you can see it from here pretty good. Let's get a flashlight on this thing. You can see what we're up to here. You see where that shock attaches? That is exactly what we need to take out. have taken these tailpipes off of this TL1000. Now the one side, this side right here, man, that was hard. Very difficult. But we got open pipes now. And we got 2 open pipes on each side right there. And we're gonna take that bottom piece off too. Remember, we're doing all of this so we can safely support the bike, and the exhaust, it has to go anyways. You know, we're not using those big, look at those things are like 3 feet long on both sides. Looks dumb. We want, preferably, this is 2-into-1. Actually it goes 2-into-2. We're gonna make it 2-into-1 and have a little shorty coming out just one side. Okay, so we have this bike supported fairly adequately, so I'm using this jack to support it from the bottom. Plus we got a stand right there, and we got a stand right here. Now the reason we're doing that is because, remember, supporting it back here is no good. When we unhook that shock, see, all of this is gonna fold, you know? So we can't support it from there. So we have it supported pretty good, not bad. We can go ahead and get that shock out of there, and then we will try to refabricate a new one. So let's go ahead and do that. This is the bracket that has to be rebuilt, and we have to make this about, you know, about 1 inch longer. So I have gotten a bolt to start with, and we're gonna build off that bolt. We're gonna build off that and build another bracket with these arms about 1 inch or so longer. I'll get the exact measurement in a little bit, but that's basically where we're going with this. And the bike is gonna sit pretty much like that. So we are trying to recreate this piece, but we're gonna have to do it out of steel, and we're gonna try to make this leg right here about 1 inch longer, and I'll get our stance. Look how ugly this is. That's where we're at. See how ugly that is? We just got some tack welds. It's very hard to hold things into place when you're talking small pieces like that. But when it's all done, we're gonna fill all this in with welds, and it's gonna become one piece. In fact, I'm gonna add steel here, here, all in here, all in here. It's gonna be all filled in steel, and then it's all gonna be welded. Then we're gonna put double plated, we're using this, it's pretty thick, but we're gonna use 2. We're gonna cut them, and we're gonna double them, and we're gonna put them on each side. That's what. So what we did here is we have drilled an 11/32 hole. This hole, these holes are all 11/32 holes. And from 11/32 hole, you can tap the right threads in it. And we'll get this thread pattern right here so that we can use the factory bolt. That's what we needed to do. Okay, so like I said, these are all fairly uniform, as best as you're gonna get them out of this shop. You know, we're not precision by any means, but it'll work because this is where we're going with it. You see? That's what we're gonna build. It's gotta be strong, so we're gonna double up these steel pieces. This is where we're going with this. Kind of like that. There's the factory. That's what we're gonna build right there. It's gonna be all tied together, and that's where we're going with this. So once it's done, it's gonna look nice. We're gonna weld it up. It's gonna look nice. It's gonna be strong, and it's gonna give our bike the stance that we're looking for. It's gonna shorten that wheelbase, you know, by going like this. And it'll perform better without, you know, doing the same amount of work. And some people would argue, you know, that you should just put it back to factory. I agree with that. I totally agree with that. You should put the bike right back to factory, man, because those are the world-class engineers that put this bike together as a race bike. But that doesn't feed our channel very well. We like to modify things and have fun, you know. The bike is not ultimately going to be raced. It's not going to the racetrack. It's going to be ran on the street. So we like to have fun, you know. Otherwise, the right thing to do would be to put it back to factory. But we're feeding the channel, and we're just having some fun, modifying things, and we're gonna run it, you know, run it on the street and have fun. Same thing with this bike. You know, when I built this bike, you should have seen what I did with the frame. I cut it all up, and that's what we do, though. You know, that's how we have our fun. But yes, I would agree with anybody that says, hey, you need to put that back to factory. That would be the right thing to do. But we're trying to accomplish something else. Have some fun, modify things, and you know something, it's gonna look a little different. People are gonna be like, what is this bike? You know, oh, that's a TL. God, that looks different. That looks bigger. Did you do some mods to it? Yeah, I did. You know, and that's kind of what we're trying to do. So, okay, we're gonna keep pushing forward. What we have done is we have mocked up this thing. We're getting ready to weld it all into position. You kind of get an idea of where I was going with this. finished our piece. Take a look at that. There's the original piece, and this is the piece that we fabricated. It is not looking very OEM, but it's extremely strong. So I guess that's all that matters. And we're 1 inch from this hole to this hole. We're 1 inch ahead, and that should give us our stance that we're looking for. I've used all the pieces other than, we started with a bolt here, which is the same thread as that, and we built off of it basically, and we used all the steel that we had from the Yamazuki. We doubled up the steel, and that's what we got, and that's going to give us the stance that we want. It's going to be looking more like a race bike again. So let's get that installed and see what this bike looks like. See you in a minute. And that fixed the angle of the bike. This is the correct stance of this bike, plus the extended swing arm. Okay, so we did that, but that came with its own set of problems. It changed the routing of the exhaust. So we had to reroute the exhaust, and that came with a whole bunch of work that we did. Ultimately, we got it to fit, and we ended the exhaust work by eliminating this big pieces. We ended up saving probably 30 pounds. We went with these little shorties on it, and they sound great. So we were having trouble with the exhaust. Now remember, as this pivot angle changed, where the exhaust goes through the center of the swing arm also changes. So for that, we had to change the exhaust. So what we did was we basically made two pieces. We had to take one piece, we had to cut it off, and we had to make two instead. So these are supposedly the correct pieces for this bike now that everything has changed. The only thing I don't know is, I don't know about exhaust tuning at all. I don't know if this is going to change it or what it's going to do to the performance. Maybe it'll throw an engine light. I have no idea. We'll find out. We'll cross that bridge. So we're going to go ahead and stick these on, and then we'll go from there. So anyways, let's take a look at the exhaust. So we had to reform the exhaust. We showed you what we did. We repainted it, we welded it, and set it up to the new configuration. Well, we got it on, and we got one side comes out here, and then we got the other side similar, not exact, but comes out like that. So when we get our shorties, they're probably going to end up coming out about like this. We're probably going to end up getting rid of a lot of this riffraff that's hanging around here and just give it a cleaner look. And it's a race bike, so we want it to perform and look like a race bike. So it looks a little sloppy right now. We got a lot of this hanging down, and it'll all get tied up. Okay, so once that was done, we started on our path to putting everything back together. But before we did that, we wanted to give the engine a quick tune-up. So we changed the plugs. We did the oil change on it. Not everything is on film. The brakes were in bad shape, so we re-bled everything. We got better pads in there. The clutch was the same thing. The slave cylinder was a mess. It had a bunch of tar and stuff in it. The slave cylinder is right here. So when you pull this thing out, it was full of gunk and junk. So the clutch wasn't working that good. So we did all of that. Then we added a beautiful gold chain to it, kind of top everything off, and we put everything back together. and we added some decals, and we tried to make it look as factory as possible with the race look. So we are very happy with this bike, and not today, but another episode, because this bike is not registered yet for the road, so we will not be taking it for a ride today, but we soon will. Hopefully this week I will have it registered for the road, so at that point it'll be my pleasure to take you guys on a ride on this wonderful Suzuki TL1000R. Now, the TL1000 was Suzuki's super bike in that year as a V-twin bike. Now, the Honda had come out with the RC51, and this was Suzuki's answer to the RC51. Unfortunately, the TL did not compete that well with the Honda. Honda's always kick-ass, man. Those are great bikes, but this was no slouch. This bike did very well, especially for the street. It's really nice. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start this machine so that you guys can get a feel for what the V-twin race bike sounds like. We'll see you in a second. Now, I did do some electrical work on it too. The headlights used to flicker, so I did do that as well. We got good headlights on it now. Sure if the mic on this phone does any justice. This is a complete project. We just have to put it on the road, license it, and take you guys for a ride on it. This bike came out really nice. You know, when people add extended swing arms, it reduces the turning capabilities of these bikes. So although we didn't put it back to factory standards, we did improve it. You know, when you raise the tail, you're essentially bringing the wheelbase closer together. So that does improve the handle of this bike, you know, and that's what we want. We don't want a long banana. It doesn't corner very well, okay? Even though it's for the streets, we still have to have it perform somewhat decent. So it's not going to be as good as an actual race bike with an actual swing arm. It's going to perform a lot better now. Great for the street. It looks awesome. Talks the talk, and it walks the walk. So there you have it. We have the beautiful completed 2000 Suzuki TL1000R. Now, in an upcoming episode, very shortly, we will take you guys on a ride on it, and we will do a review on it. Can't do it today. It's not licensed yet. We will though. We'll get it licensed, and we'll take you guys on a ride on it. It always ran great. This was a hard pulling bike, man. It used to pull hard. With that V-twin, it is a torque monster. I believe these are right around 120, 125 horse, right around 80, 90 foot-pounds of torque. in a 6-speed gearbox. So you're going to be tapping on 200 miles an hour the way this thing is geared, you know, if you wanted to. We're not going to go that route, but we will take you guys on a ride on it. And it's a beautiful bike, and we are very happy with it. So thank you for joining us on this episode of Garage Groove. We're going to continue doing things. My shoulder needs to heal a little bit, but fortunately I can still ride. So we will be taking you guys on a ride, and then we'll think of other things to do for you guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being with us, and thank you for being patient, man. Please subscribe, please like, and stay with us on this journey. We'll see you soon. Take care.